In the studio tonight to talk more on International Youth Day 2017 is the convener Youth Security Roundtable, Henry Akinniyi. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're very much welcome.
Yeah.
Delving straight into the questions without wasting so much time. This year's Youth Day, the theme for this year is Youth Building Peace. What would you say this signifies?
First of all, Nigerian youths must realize that peace is not negotiable.
True.
The peace of Nigeria must remain as the peace of Nigeria. And today being the International Youth Day, or in commemoration of the International Youth Day, our message that we've been carrying around is that Nigerian youth should realize that at this point in time, when there's a lot of agitations for separation in this country, we should be in the front line, placing a red alert on peace in Nigeria. So for me, and I think that I share the view of most Nigerians, or most Nigerian youths, Nigeria's peace is not negotiable.
That's a very powerful one. Nigeria's peace is not negotiable, and that is. But then now, looking at that topic, peace building, how do you rate Nigeria?
First of all, I'll say again, there's also supposed to be a first introduction to every question.
Go ahead.
Yes, Nigerian youths are the most used workforce in this country. We constitute the workforce for the medical line, the informal labor, the bricklayers, the shoe shiners. We constitute the workforce in the media, like you. You're a youth yourself.
Yeah.
But it's also very painful that Nigerian youths are the most marginalized. We are not totally involved in the development of this nation. And I tell you, there can never be development when there is no peace. And that is why you find out that with the present agitations we have in Nigeria, the youths constitute, yet again, 90% of the entire force of population of those who are agitating for disunity. And why is it so? Most are sponsored. It also tells us that Nigerian youths are jobless. It also tells us that Nigerian youths need help. And that is why we must realize that Nigerian leadership should place a core focus on Nigerian youths to continue, if Nigeria will keep being as one republic, indivisible. And don't forget, there's a particular verse in the national anthems that says, the labor of our leaders shall never be in vain. If we are not careful, I'm saying it to the camera now, Nigerians, if we are not careful as a nation, the labor of our leaders will be in vain. If Nigerian government, both at the federal level, at the state level, and at the local government level, do not give the youths the right privilege that should be accrued to them, if the Nigerian government will not give youths viable jobs, if the Nigerian government will not come out and embrace accountability, then you see that it will be very, very difficult for Nigerian youths to play their role in peace building. But on the other hand, because every coin has two sides, Nigerian youths must realize that the pity game should stop. For those of you watching me on TV right now, the pity game must stop. One of the richest guys in America today is Mark Zuckerberg.
Yes.
He built Facebook. And many years after then, you find out that Harvard University came to beg him with what? So that should tell us that Nigerian youth should rise. Think of something creative. The world itself was created. So you must create.
Yes, true. Very true.
Nigerian youth should quit the pity game. That's what I'm most concerned about. Because now we find out that we don't have the jobs. What then is the next option? Let us try entrepreneurship. If we do not try entrepreneurship, let us go on service professional trainings. If we don't try professional trainings, let us then go back and use the positive culture of the Nigerian heritage to build Nigeria. And what is that culture? Nigerian youths must learn love. That is the Nigerian culture. The Nigerian culture is that of unity. Let us embrace the Nigerian culture.
What you just said is a powerful one, because unity, like it is like our flag and everything about Nigeria, that's what it connotes. Now, looking at Nigeria, would you say the political class has created more or less like an enabling environment, for the youths? Do you think it's there?
It's quite unfortunate that
That's a very pointed one, and I would love to know what your answer about this is, but that would come shortly after this break. It's time to go for a short break now. You're welcome back. And as I said earlier, we had in the studio Henry Akinniyi, convener of the Youth Roundtable. He's here to talk with us. Now, Mr. Akinniyi, you're welcome once more.
Thank you.
The last question before we went on the break, I was asking, do you think the political class has created an enabling environment for the youth to thrive?
Sad enough. Politics is who gets what, when, how, and why. But back to that same point of love. Our political class in Nigeria lacks to the least. They lack that simple culture of love. And that is why they've not given room for the youth to use that God-given talents, ideas, to make Nigeria a better nation. Politically, I think the political class has so far failed in allowing the youths make this nation a better one. I would not want to cite examples, so we don't get too political. But I think that point is made. I answered the question. I've answered the question perfectly. The political class has failed, and for me, I am more concerned about the aspect of this current agitations. We would not shy away from the fact that some of these agitations are politically motivated.
Yeah.
Right now, you find that in some parts of the East, some people are drumming the drums of war. And these are people that I don't know when last they switched the page or flipped the page of the history books of this country. In 1967 to 1970, over 2 million dead bodies littered the streets of this nation, from Nnewi to Oka, from Oka to Kaduna, from Kaduna to the southwest in Lagos. Dead bodies everywhere. We've forgotten these things. And don't forget that the major man in charge then in on the side of the Biafra said, never again shall we rise against ourselves. And don't forget that the hero of this nation from the north, Ahmadu Bello, said that Nigeria is a blessed nation created by not man but God. And when you come down to the southwest, you have Obafemi Awolowo. These were guys that fought for the independence of this country as youths. But currently, what we have in Nigeria is that our old folks think that the youths are too young to feather the political seats in this country. And we forget also that Gowon fought the war at a very tender age.
He did. So what's the way forward? What would you suggest as the way forward?
The first thing that needs to be done, we have to create an orientation program called Operation Tsunami. It is very, very simple as the way it sounds. Tsunami. Nigerian youths have to experience a tsunami of reorientation. I'm not being biased, but I will tell you the truth. I'm a young person. 60% of Nigerian youths are involved in illegal activities to make money. 60%.
Sadly, no.
Why is it 60%? That man in the office who is a civil servant will tell himself that, look, I might not be able to wait for the next 30 years before I can build a house. He does all sort of things, all sort of amounts in the office. He steals from government coffers. Then for the young man who is very good at ICT, we have Obasanjo Space Center. You go down there, I'm telling you, most people that are employed there are from the back door. And those guys that are actually brilliant don't end up working in those offices. So what do? They go into internet fraud and scam. So for me, the first step is a tsunami of orientation. Then number 2, like I cited properly earlier, Nigerian youths must learn entrepreneurship. Nigerian youths must inculcate the culture of entrepreneurship. That is the only way we will be able to rise up to fight this time. And at the same time, to Nigerian youths, at this critical period, being the International Youth Day 2017, we're encouraging Nigerian youths to embrace unity. We can only grow when we are unified. A Hausa man should learn that an Igbo woman can be married. A Hausa man should know that a Yoruba man is his brother. When we leave the shores of this country, there is nothing like a Igbo Nigerian, a Hausa Nigerian.
All Nigerians.
We are Nigerians, and you need to see the way Nigerians in diaspora conduct themselves outside this country. So why can't we allow that be the same game plan here?
Okay, now you mentioned 60% being involved in illegal activities and all. When we look at the population of Nigeria, we have that 70% are made up of the youths. Yes, and then added to this, conditions you just stated earlier as the shortcomings of, youth in the country, don't you see that figure as a strength for them to capitalize upon?
Government will never learn. And let me tell you, see, this 60% that ain't getting money illegally, see, it takes a smart chap to illegally take as low as 500 naira from another person. And you find out that our young men that into internet scam, they do it as high as 3 million, 10 million. Then we ask ourselves, what then would government be doing if they are not focusing on using the strengths inherent in brilliant chaps, creative chaps in this country? So that question is not even supposed to be first and foremost. It's supposed to be directed to the government. That 60% of these guys that are bad, they can be rerented, repackaged, rebranded, and fused into the great nation Nigeria we are trying to build.
Positive purposes. That's a very true one. Now, with all of these things you've stated, which are facts to be concerned, the first thing you said when we started this interview is the fact that you're a youth yourself, and where do you see the position of youth in the next 5 years? Let's start with that.
Nigerian youths in the next 5 years, I think if we do not start now, it will get worsened. So in the next 5 years, if we continue the line that we're toiling now, we will be one of the worst nations in Africa. We used to be the best. We used to be giants. I don't know if we're still the giants. But as a patriotic Nigerian, I think we are still the giants.
Yes,
but to be sincere, we know that if we continue the line we are toiling right now, Nigeria will be one of the most bankrupt, mentally bankrupt, financially bankrupt, in fact, culturally bankrupt country in the whole of Africa. But if we're able to change at the pace at which we are going now, the sky is our limit.
It's our limit, and that's a very lovely one. It's sad to look into that future. It does scare us, and I hope the right people, the right authorities take note of this and then do the change for us. Thank you so much. That was an enlightening one, and this was a very lovely interview. We're very welcome once more. Thank you for.
I hope you allow me to take just one last, if you would allow me.
Okay.
Nigerian youths, this is International Youth Day. Please let us pull the trigger for peace and national unity, not pulling the trigger for war and bloodshed.
That's a powerful charge. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much.